Trust me, you can learn any skill in just 7 or 15 days, that is maximum 2 weeks. But for that, if you know these 5 tips, I'm for sure pretty sure you can learn any skill in just 2 weeks as well. So the first tip is you have to set clear and specific goals. Now what I mean by that, let's say if you want to learn the guitar, right, and you are completely beginner, you don't know the G of the guitar, you are learning it from scratch, then you have to set the right goals or the specific goals for yourself. I would say, let's say you want to play the guitar and you want to play some song, right? You can take any song that is there right now into the market or into the industry, music industry, trending song, and you want to play that song, let's say XYZ song. You have to decide the specific goal for that song. Firstly, what you will do, you will purchase the guitar, you will learn the chords, maybe string patterns, then chords, then strumming patterns as well, and then you will practice a lot onto that song so that you can just reach from A to B. Just because you have decided you want to go from A to B, and this measurement or the distance that is there in between A to B is your specific goals and the I would say the clear goals that you have decided so far. And into this you can just make your bigger task into the smaller task as well, which will actually help you to go from A to B and learn to play the guitar and as well, let's say, the song that you have decided so far. So just decide, have a clear goals and also the specific goals. Don't go beyond that. Just like, let's say, for 1 day, 2 days, you just have to define or decide your task that you want to do, and smaller tasks which will help you to complete it really quickly, and you can have that understanding of the skill that you want to learn. Also, before going to the next tip, actually there is one tip, or the third tip is really important. If you know that tip, you can learn any skill within just a few hours as well. But that is a principle that you really need to know. Just stay tuned till now. Moving ahead, the second tip, or the I would say the strategy if you want to learn any skill, is practice regularly and consistently. Because if you are not consistent enough with your work, you can't learn any skill, I would say. Let's say you want to learn coding, you want to learn web development, and if you are learning daily, if you are just learning from courses, or if you are reading a book, but if you are not practicing it, if you are not consistent enough to write the code, Python code daily, minimum for 15 to 20 minutes as well, you can't learn it really well, and you will not have that much of hands-on experience onto that coding language. So what you have to do, just let's say if you are learning Python, if you are learning SQL or any web development, content writing part, or branding theories or principles, right? Let's say if you are learning Python, if you have learned some OOPS concepts or maybe languages, coding languages, whatever the things that you are learning daily, you have to at least practice it for minimum 15 to 20 minutes a day. Because if you are not practicing it consistently, there is an and condition, practicing daily with the consistently, right? You have to stay consistent enough with your task, with your work where you are actually working in. So just practice it for minimum 15 to 20 minutes and you will learn a lot of skills. You will have a great hands-on experience onto that tool, which will actually help you to learn it really well, rather than spending a lot of time, days, months just to revise your prior experiences or the prior learnings. Whatever the learnings you have learned so far within the, let's say, for the past 7 days or 3 days, you again have to revise it, you again have to practice it consistently for the next few days as well, which will actually help you to learn it really easily. Now moving ahead, the third one of the most important tips, I would say, or the strategies that you can follow, is to use the 80-20 rule, which is also known as the Pareto principle. If you don't know, I'll create a separate video onto that topic. Just let me know into the comment section if you want a separate video onto the Pareto principle. But 80-20 rule says that, let's say if you know cooking, or if you are good at cooking, or let's say if you know in any another skill, or let's say lead generation techniques, right? So 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle simply says that your 80% of the profit or the 80% of your revenue will come from the 20% of the products that you have right now, or your 80% of the results will come from the 20% of the efforts that you are putting in any industry or in any work. This is nothing but the Pareto principles or the 18-20 rule. The only thing is that you should know what are the efforts, or which kind of efforts or the strategies that you need to follow to get the most out of it. Let's say 80% results, or the techniques, or the revenue, or the profit from your business. So just try to understand that major points, that major things because let's say if you know cooking, right? So into the cooking there would be 2 to 3 things or the techniques that will help you to make any dish. So try to learn those 2 to 3 things, try to learn those 2 to 3 tips or the strategies that can help you in any domain, that can help you to cook any dish as well, right? So just try to learn. Let's say if you know graphic designing, try to learn such 2 to 3 things, let's say softwares, let's say good hands-on experience, or let's say the strategies or the tricks, hacks that can help you to design any website, that can help you to design any graphic designing work within just few minutes as well, that can help or that you can use universally. That is nothing but the 80-20 rule, right? So try to implement this rule or the Pareto principle. I am for sure pretty sure every brand follows these techniques. Even if let's say even there are a lot of brands, even there are a lot of companies as well whose most of the profit is coming from the top product itself. Now moving ahead, the fourth important tip or the hack or the strategy is to getting a feedback, right? Now from whom you will you take or would you take the feedback? See, if you are learning coding, then try to code onto the online platforms that are out there. HackerRank is there, W3 School is there, then CoderChef is there. So these are the few platforms on which you can code and you can take the feedback from the mentors, from the experts as well. But this will actually help you to understand your mistakes, what are the mistakes that you are doing right now, and you can understand your mistakes and just implement it at that point in itself. In the like nothing but recorrect your mistake. Try to solve all the mistakes that you are currently doing by taking the feedbacks from the industry experts, maybe industry leaders from the online platforms as well. Because if you don't know what kind of mistakes you are doing right now, then you will keep doing the same mistakes again and again and again, and you will not try to improve those kind of mistakes and improve yourself into that domain itself. Let's say if you are doing coding, if you don't know how to write the code, if you don't know how to optimize the code correctly, what are the mistakes that you are doing right now while coding, or if you don't know what are the mistakes you are doing while writing, creating a content, while writing the post or to generate the leads, you will keep doing the same mistake. You will not learn from your mistake and you can't grow actually, or you can learn that skill really easy. And the fifth, one of the topmost important tip is to focus more on learning from the multiple platforms rather than just sticking to one platform. What I mean by that, if you are learning content writing, right, then don't try to read the articles only, don't try to focus only onto the some websites. Try to read the books, try to focus more on consuming the content onto the different platforms like Instagram, like LinkedIn, and try to consume the long form content as well through YouTube. Because if you are only focusing on one platform to learn that skill, you can learn, but it will take a lot of time. Let's say if you want to learn few things, because what will happen if you are focusing more on consuming a content from all the platforms, it will actually help you to consume a lot of content, like learn new strategies, tricks and hacks into that domain itself. Because if you are only focusing more on theoretical knowledge or the reading a book, taking some knowledge through book reading, it will actually only help you to get some theoretical knowledge, not actually the practical or the visual knowledge. Because people get to know or people remember things if they are consuming it in the form of a visual content rather than the text based content, right? So try to consume every form of content that is out there into the industry. Let's say videos, podcast is there. I try to consume the video form of content maybe through Instagram or maybe through YouTube. Try to focus more on YouTube because you will get a lot of, I would say, a lot of information onto the YouTube itself. You don't even have to consume text-based content itself. But just for the safest side, try to consume the theoretical knowledge as well. Like textbooks is there, ebooks are there, maybe Udemy courses, free courses are there, paid courses are there. You can consume all of these and try to like improve your knowledge and try to consume a lot of knowledge so that you can just implement these kind of things practically actually into the real world. So if you followed these 5 steps, I am for sure pretty sure it will hardly take you to 7 to 15 days just to learn any skill. I'm talking about any skill, not the single skill itself. Like if you only want to learn graphic design, you can learn that. Coding, you can learn that. Branding, you can learn that. It is completely depend on you after that how much practice you are doing to become an expert into that domain itself. So these are the 5 tips that I wanted to tell you, and even whatever the skill, let's say if I want to learn any new skill, I follow the same strategies, right? And it has helped me a lot to learn a lot of skills and improve my skill or improve myself into different domains as well. I hope you found this video helpful. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like to this video. Also don't forget to share this video with your loved ones or maybe the friends or with anyone which can help them to learn from this video itself. And also there is one more thing, actually I wanted to tell you one thing ki, I'm going to disclose the thing that I was actually working for the past, that I was and I am working actually for the past 1 to 2 months, which is related to the social media things itself, which will actually help you to build your business, lot more things as well, right? So for that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell icon so that whenever I'll post a new video, you'll get the notification. So thank you so much guys, and see you in the next video.